Hey everybody, it's Dr. Bender, Bender's training program, and today is going to be the first module of the 8-week body weight at home exercise that's free on my website. And we're going to start out with the warm-up here. So the warm-up, the way it's set up is that there's stationary exercises and across the floor exercises. So what you're going to do is you're going to start out with the stationary exercise. All the stationary exercises are 10 repetitions. It means you do it 10 times. And then your goal is to go 15 yards across the floor exercises, do the same stationary exercise again, and then return doing the same across the floor exercise that you had just done, and then start with the next exercise. My audience is probably anywhere from somebody in fantastic condition to the people that are in poor condition. So if you can only start out going 5 yards or whatever, do what you can do. Like anything else, consult a physician before starting any exercise program. If any of these exercises bother you at all, in any way, bother your knee or anything like that, then don't do them. Find some other exercise that doesn't bother you to substitute. But anyhow, so the first stationary exercise is called a fling, and it's performed like this. Keep your arms parallel, your feet cross a different way each time. You do 10 of those. If the bounding bothers you, just do them like this. So you're going to do that 10 times, and then the across the floor exercise is a skip. You can just do like a regular skip across the floor, or you can do more of a bounding explosive skip. And anything like that, if we're doing skips or running or things like that, always trying to do opposite arm, opposite leg. The next exercise is a jumping jack. Basically everybody should know that. It's just like this. Again, if the bounding bothers you, do it like that. Or if you feel like you're in great shape, come back like that, where you have to jump high to get it in there. The next across the floor is walking with high knees. So you're just walking. Bring the knee up. Do the same thing coming back. The next exercise is called a straddle hop. And basically start in the lunge position. Again, opposite arm, opposite leg. Make sure your body stays upright. You don't want to be bent over like this. Try to keep it as upright as possible. If the bounding bothers you, or the just the deceleration part bothers your knee, you can do just a lunge, come forward, come back, just like that. Again, 10 times. The next across the floor exercise is a backward cycle. You can do it 2 ways. A lot of you are going to want to do the walking version, where you're just picking this leg up, pushing back, stepping, like that. If your conditioning is good and you're pretty athletic and you have a good surface, you don't have to worry about running into anything or falling, do more of the athletic version. Again, opposite arm, opposite leg. The next stationary exercise is a seal jack. It's very similar to a jumping jack. Start like this, just coming in and clapping. Again, the other version of that, if the bounding bothers you, is doing it like that. The next across the floor exercise is a side lunge. This one, you're going to be low. You don't want to be on the balls of your feet. You want to be sort of sitting on those heels, sitting on your hips, and instead of just stepping straight to the side, you're going to point your heel and bring it in like this, like you're squashing a bug. If you're going back the other way, point the heel, squash the bug. Point the heel, squash the bug. Just a varied side lunge with a little bit of a twist to it. The next exercise is an alternating toe touch. Stand with your feet wide. Your goal is to come down and touch that toe on each exercise. We're going to come down, all the way back up, follow through with the hips, 5 each side. Like that. So alternating toe touches. The next across the floor exercise is a rabbit hop. It's a great exercise. A lot of people are really going to have to practice this, but it's fantastic for core strength and flexibility. And basically your feet are going to be sort of wide. You're going to walk out with your hand Your goal is to walk out to where your hips are dropped like this. Some of you that your abs aren't as strong, you'll probably still be up like that, but your goal is to be out like this, and then jump your feet right beside your hands. Climb out again. Like that. You do that the full length there and the full length back. The next exercise, stationary exercise, is hip circles. You're going to be on all fours. The two different variations are forward hip circles. That's where you start, you bring your knee back, up, forward, and back down, like you're coming over a hurdle. You're going to do 10 with this leg and 10 with this leg. When you get to the opposite end, you're going to do the reverse hip circles, and that starts with your knee coming forward, up, back, down. And try to keep your back during that process as flat as you can. If you're tilted way up like this, you're not really working a lot on hip mobility. Okay, the next across the floor exercise is a squat with a rotation. And no matter what type of squat we do in here, always remain during that squat on your heels. Try to push through your heels. So you're going to squat, rotate, squat, rotate, squat, all the way down, and then after you do the stationary exercise, all the way back. The next exercise is a skater, stationary skater. This can be done two different ways. The easiest way is to get a line or an imaginary line, put one foot on that line, your other foot back like this at a 45-degree angle, and you want all the weight, whichever foot is on that line or imaginary line, that's where 95% of your weight's going to be. So I can pick up this toe and still stay balanced, but it's basically just switching like this. At any time, I can pick that opposite foot up and still be balanced. 10 of those, or the progression up from that is a little bit more of a dynamic skater, and it's just coming back and forth, try to balance on that one foot for a second or two. This works a lot on lateral acceleration, deacceleration, and balance. The next across the floor exercise is high knees, and that's just running with high knees. If the running bothers you, walk with high knees, but again, just opposite arm, opposite leg. The next stationary exercise is push-ups, and there's a lot of different progressions for that. The easiest one, at least that I know of, is off of your knees, 10 of them. A lot of people, if they're weak at this exercise, for some reason, they bring their arms out wide and their head will go down like this when they're doing them. I'd rather see you only do half of a push-up than do them like that. Keep your hands in a little closer, about shoulder width apart, and bring your elbows back next to your body. You don't want them to come out. You actually have a lot more strength with your elbows close. The next exercise, or the other progression, just a regular push-up like that. If you're in between where you can almost do regular push-ups, and the knee push-ups are too easy, do the downward portion on your toes. Drop to your knees and push up, back to your toes. You're a lot stronger in that negative portion, so you should be able to do that. And then if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, do a push-up with one leg up like that. And again, it's a warm-up, so some people in fantastic shape can do all sorts of different push-ups, and we'll get into some more challenging push-ups later that aren't in the warm-up. The next across the floor exercise is the lateral crab, and that's basically, again, you're back in the push-up position like this, and you're just going to walk to this side. Your goal is to keep keeping that push-up position. Again, some people you're going to see doing it like this, but you know, until your core is strong enough to be able to keep your back flat, it's fine. You can do it whatever way that you're able to do it. The next exercise is what's called a gate swing, and your feet are going to be together, your palms above your knees, and you're going to pretend that It's very hot out to the side and it's cool in the middle, so your feet are going to stay in the middle as much as, or no, sorry, the opposite. It's very cool out on the outside and hot in the middle, so your feet are just briefly going to stay in the middle. So you're going to sort of bound out and bring your feet to about a 45-degree angle, and this is a slow squat. Squat slow, back to the middle. Bring your toes together in the middle. It's a great exercise. The next across the floor exercise is an inchworm, and again, these might take some practice with some people. Try to get the full 15 yards if you can't. Just do what you can do. You're basically going to start, keep your legs straight, walk out as far as you can into a plank, and then keep your legs straight and walk on your toes up as high as you can while your legs stay straight. Just walk on out. Now when you get, after you've done your stationary exercise at the other end, you're going to do a reverse inchworm coming back, which throw your feet out, and then it's your hands that do the walking. Like that, all the way back. The last exercise is a burpee, or a squat. Some people call them squat thrusts, and that's just down, feet back, back under you, and stand up. We're not doing the jump with this one. Again, it's like this. You're going to do 10 of those. And the last across the floor exercise is a leg cradle. And you're basically just going to be walking and cradle that leg and just hold it for a second, stretch up. And that concludes the warm-up portion of the workout.